Hey gents, in February of 2017, I opened a Watch Gang box, which really changed my whole life. I opened a simple Elliott Havoc quartz watch from their original tier, and with that first unboxing of a random watch from a subscription service, I was absolutely hooked. Today I want to talk about my experience with Watch Gang, who it's for, why you might sign up, but then also who it is not for. I'll put links below if you want to check them out. I think there's a discount as well, and let's get into my history with Watch Gang and if it's right for you. So first, let's go into some background. The first real watches that I had as a kid were Timexes, and then I was gifted this Mondaine Swiss Railways watch from my then girlfriend, now wife, which was my daily wear for many years. I then wore this Withings smartwatch. I did a video on this, which I really liked, and this became a daily wear for quite a while. I swapped the bands out for silicone bands and everything else. But then I also had this automatic watch, which is a 100-year anniversary watch from the Boy Scouts of America that I was gifted at my Eagle Scout ceremony. And this watch holds a lot of sentimental value because it was I can remember how proud my dad was when I got it at my Eagle Scout ceremony. And so these were my three watches when I started Watch Gang in 2017. And I remember looking up this watch and seeing that it was $150, and to me, that was an astronomical price for a watch. I couldn't believe a watch was $150, and how naive was I? When I first started Watch Gang, they only had that one tier. It was $30 a month, and they delivered a watch between $50 and $100 a month. Well, right after that video, they launched the black tier. So this had some Swiss-made pieces, some automatic pieces, and this was just around the time that I was starting to dive into the world of TGV, Armand the Watch Guy, Federico, and learn more about the intricacies of watches, the history behind the brands, and the fact that $150 for a watch is really only like the starting point, and it is much higher than that. There was also the promise when I initially signed up that Watch Gang would eventually work with larger brands, and since that time, they've been delivering Seikos. They have Seiko Saturday, and so they have started to work with more traditional brands, which is super exciting. So not only do they give away Rolexes and tags, they give away Seikos, and I've seen some of these traditional Japanese watch brands, and actually one of the Citizens that I received in my Watch Gang Black is one of my favorite watches as well. And so once they launched the Black tier, I signed up for 12 months of the Black tier. It's $1,200 prepay for the entire year, and then that gave me monthly deliveries of watches to be worth $200-ish based on a $100 monthly price. And I did that because at the time I was way more interested in having a collection of watches that I could switch up, accessorize, and change around versus having like one Omega or Tudor from a vintage era, which would be about that same $1,200 price. And that really answers the first question, is who is Watch Gang for? Because when I received that first watch, what I was really exposed to and what I was really sold on getting into Watch Gang for was I logged into their Facebook group. They have a closed Facebook group where people swap watches and exchange things, and I saw how active it was, but I also saw, at the time there was like 4,000 or 5,000 members, and now it's grown to tens of thousands of members, and it's extremely active on people that are excited to see what they got. They trade up for things. I've gone in there myself, traded a few watches, but I've also gone in, and there was one point where I almost traded 4 of my watches for one quartz era Bond Seamaster that I was really excited about. It didn't end up going through, but I learned within that group that there's this whole community of people that really just want some of these micro brands and different watches. And so if you're interested, you can go back and watch all of the unboxings that I've done on Watch Gang before. You can see the watches that they're delivering. And so if you're interested in those types of watches, then Watch Gang is a perfect subscription. If you're not interested in spending one chunk of money on one watch and you want to have that wide variety of watches and collect them, and you don't want to take the time to go out and explore them, what Watch Gang has really enabled me to do is I receive watches, I learn a little about the brand, but then I experiment with the different complications on a watch, the different designs of a watch, and what Watch Gang has really helped me hone into is to understand what do I want out of a watch, which complications do I want, what size, what style, and having all of these and getting to wear them for a few weeks at a time and not having to send them back, but then being able to go into the group and trade them up or down has been extremely valuable for me, and it is ultimately what landed me on the Seamaster that I purchased a year ago. And that also brings me to my next point, is when you talk about who is it for, it's for a person that has a disposable income and enjoys the subscription service model. What happened with me is I was very watch curious, and then I quickly accelerated into watch enthusiast, but at the same time that happened, I went from being able to afford a Mondaine $150 watch to being able and actually shopping for a brand new Omega because I had great years at work and things were going really well. And so I believe that my trajectory was really compressed. I think Normally when you get into watches, it takes you a few years to work up to that first Rolex or that first higher end piece. And so for me, it just happened in like a span of 6 months. But Watch Gang really helps as you are learning more about watches and getting to experience them. And then you get into the group and you trade and you upgrade and all those sorts of things. And so that's really who I believe it's for. Who it's not for are the people that are like literally making YouTube videos about watches. Teddy Baldessar did a video on why he doesn't like them. Jory Goodman did a video on why he doesn't like them, and they have absolutely valid points. They want to buy one vintage piece that may appreciate over time, that has some history to it, and I've now found myself in that same camp. I have one vintage gold Omega that is my absolute favorite watch. It's 34 millimeters, it's from the 50s, it's a bumper model, and to me it's like this gorgeous piece of art. And now if I were choosing between Watch Gang or the Omega, I would choose the Omega. And all of that accelerated learning and appreciation for watches came from Watch Gang. And I think that was really the case because I also experimented with the platinum tier a few times. I have 3 platinum tier watches. I plan to do a video on those where I was delivered a Swiss military watch, which is a Swiss made automatic watch built a lot like a Seamaster. I also have this Melbourne watch right here, which is an extremely cool micro brand with, like, it's a very small shop that just makes these gorgeous pieces. And for me to go out and buy this would be several hundreds of dollars, but the platinum tier, because it's the $299 a month, you're getting watches that could be worth up to $1,000. And then they do the wheel watches. And so if you're looking to like really accelerate your watch collecting, Watch Gang is perfect for that. They also do, I wouldn't sign up if you were just trying to win the Rolex. There's a much, you can just go buy a vintage Rolex versus trying to win one. That's a great bonus, but keep thinking about it. There are thousands of members and there's one Rolex given away every Friday. So that's a cool bonus, but go into it for the right reasons. So after experiencing myself and reading the comments and feedback from you guys, which has been extremely valuable, I really feel like I have the understanding of who it's for. Like I said, it's people that want to quickly build a collection. They're not as interested in some of the brands, like the heritage of some of the watches. They really just want to build out something that's very diverse. But then I also learned that there's this huge community of people that love homage watches or like really perfect fake watches. Like there's so many people in the watch collecting community, and I feel like you hear from the real enthusiasts on YouTube, where I find myself in the middle. It's like I'm not on the spectrum where I want to build a huge collection of fake Rolexes. I'm not all the way deep into it like someone like a TGV or Federico. I'm kind of in the middle, which is where I think a lot of people are, which is why I believe Watch Gang continues to be so successful. And when I say sign up for the right reasons, they say that you for $100 a month you'll get something delivered between $250 and $500. You're not going to get that out of the watch. So don't sign up expecting that you're going to like get the watch, flip it, and make a profit. But I do believe you're getting the value that you pay for in the watch, because you'll at least be able to cover what you paid for in the exchange. Whether you sell it, whether you exchange it, whether you bundle them up in exchange for something else, I believe you'll get that value, but don't expect, you're paying $100 and then you're gonna get a watch and sell it for $500. That does not happen. I do believe that if you can afford it, go with the black tier. They deliver slightly better watches. The premium tier is very interesting, but it's very expensive, so you need to be prepared to go for that. But Watch Gang has really taken me from the enthusiast and just like the watch kind of curious person to owning my new Seamaster from last year, and now I'm lusting after this GMT that I just put a video up on, so you can check that out. And so Watch Gang, I'm happy to answer any questions. These are all my own thoughts. You don't have to worry about endorsements or sponsorships. I'm just trying to give you guys the best information and my own experience. So happy to answer any questions down below in the comments. You can also reach out at @_Kavalier on Twitter and Instagram. I'll put links to Watch Gang below so you can check them out. You can also look, I have a playlist of all my monthly Watch Gang unboxings if you want to dive in any further on there. And until next time, gents, this is the Kavalier.